In the previous video, we took you through a beginner's guide on pre-washing your car. Now we're going to jump straight on to the 2-bucket method. Now this is going to be the contact wash, and in my hand I have got grit guards, and it's really important that you have one in each bucket, and I will explain as we go through the video. If you've been following this car cleaning series, then you should know by now that we've carried out an engine bay detail, wheel cleaning, door shuts and the pre-wash. So once you ticked off all those, then you're going to be ready to tackle the 2-bucket method. So why do we use 2 buckets? So the reason we're using the 2-bucket method is because we got one which is for rinsing and one for our shampoo. So once we've got our wash pad and we've put it on the paintwork and we've given it its first wash, we're not going to stick it straight in the same bucket because we don't want to contaminate it. We need to make sure that it goes straight into the rinse bucket. Before we get washing, let's quickly cover some of the do's and some of the don'ts. Rules for washing your car: avoid using washing up liquid because these will strip away any waxes or any polishes, and not only that, it will speed up the oxidation process. And don't wash in direct sunlight or wash if the paint is hot to touch, so keep it as cool as possible. And make sure you've got clean water in both buckets. And as always, make sure you're organised and have plenty of access to get around the car. And last but not least, don't use a sponge, but instead go for a wash mitt, or better still, try one of these. So in my hand I have got a wash pad. Now you may look at it and think it's gigantic like a pillow, but it is super soft and it's really good at absorbing the water, and it's not too heavy either. The idea of this is we want to stick it straight into the wash bucket, and we want to wring it out a little bit because we don't want it to hold too much water to the point you're going to think that your arm's going to ache. So the job of the grit guards is simple. Its aim is to trap any loose dirt that may be floating around in the bucket, and although you can't always see it in there, it's amazing how much grit you actually find in the bottom of the bucket after every wash. Starting off with the contact wash, I want to make sure that we go top down. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom, because usually at the bottom of the car, that's where you're still going to find the odd little bits of contaminants. Now I know we've removed 95% of it during the pre-wash stage, but it's just to be on the safe side, so that's why we normally go 2/3 of the way down and we leave the last section till last. Wash pads tend to hold huge volumes of water, and to be honest, if you carried out the correct pre-wash, then I can't see any problem in washing in curves, circles or straight lines. As long as there isn't anything in between the wash pad or wash mitt or the surface of the paint, then there should be no reason whatsoever why you would cause scratches from moving it in a particular direction. And also, swirls are caused by friction, so even if you do wash in straight lines, then there's no guarantee for a swirl-free finish if you're pressing too hard. So my best advice for people watching this is don't overthink it. This is why we have the pre-wash and grit guards, to stop that sort of thing happening. But let's be clear, if you're washing a car outside on a windy day, then there's going to be the odd chance of wind picking up tiny particles of dust, so pick your wash day wisely. If you're struggling to find where the lower third of the vehicle is, you can always use the rear bumper as a guide, because you've got a perfect line here. It cuts it off, and this is where most of the dirt usually builds up. So I actually have various mitts and pads, and I've also got a designated wash mitt for the lower third of the car on my jobs. But that's not all. It's not just a wash pad you need, it's a good brush as well. Now these are great for getting in all the little gaps, all the nooks and crannies. It's so easy and they're super soft, so you're not going to cause any scratches, and they're perfect for the grills as well. So we finally completed the whole car with the contact wash. Now we've got to give it a rinse, and we've got to be doing it quite quick. That sun has just decided to break through the clouds, so it's really important that we can get it off as quickly as possible. When rinsing, make sure that you get all the suds off, leaving nothing left behind. Always try to keep the car in the shade prior to drying, so once you're finished, you'll be ready to dry it with plenty of time before you get any of those pesky water spots. Unfortunately, it's not always possible, so that's why I say get organised beforehand so you have your towels right beside you. The lance, trigger and nozzle that I'm using here is available for Nilfisk, Karcher and Kranzle, and the 40-degree rubber tip gives you plenty of coverage, meaning faster rinsing times. And I'll also list everything below in the description if you want to get your hands on one of these bad boys, and I've also already made a video on this quick release setup, so go check it out right after you press the subscribe button. So I hope this has cleared things up for the 2-bucket method. I know there's a lot of people out there who do get confused, they get overwhelmed by all the information out there, but I'm hoping these bite-sized videos are going to be really good, because you can always come back another day and re-watch it if you forget where you're going, or you just sort of lose track of what's happening within the contact wash process. In our next video, we're going to show you everything you need to know about drying a car.